Hello everyone, this is Kevin from SDM Software. I wanted to drop a quick video. I'm really working through something to demonstrate a specific scenario to an organization that was interested. I think this might be interesting to the masses. Anyway, the scenario is this. It's a comparison scenario. I want to take a production group policy object and remove a setting. And that GPO is actually duplicated. There's another GPO with these same settings in it. So I want to do a comparison against the edited GPO and the other GPO that should be the same. I'm also going to do that comparison against a backup copy of that GPO. Okay, so for the purposes of this demonstration, what I've done was I've created two group policy objects, GPO A and GPO B. And let me show you these guys in the GPMC. So they're, they're pretty basic GPOs. They just have computer settings in them. They should be the same at this point if I haven't destroyed my demo. There's a GP preference setting. There's some admin template settings. And there is some security settings. Let me do another confirmation here. So I believe my demo is set up right. So I have these handful of settings set up. These two GPOs should be the same. I'm going to look at them side by side with SDM Software's GPO Compare. And a couple things about GPO Compare to be aware of. There is a behavior where you can collect metadata on these GPOs. Metadata is going to be things like ACLs and GUIDs and versions and things like that, not settings data. And I'm going to do that just so that I can show you what kinds of metadata will be included in the report. But now I'm going to choose these two live group policy objects. So live GPO 1 is going to be GPO A, and then GPO 2 will be GPO B. And I'm going to run a quick comparison. And some of you who have seen this, GPO Compare, this component of our reporting pack, shows a sort of column or view of these GPOs. And I do see differences in these GPOs, but these differences are all related to metadata. So the GUID, of course, is going to be different. The creation and modified time will be different. I see some version differences. So that's all metadata stuff. If I want to see settings data, there are no differences between these two GPOs from a settings perspective, but in the tool I can look at settings that are the same. So I can see right side by side, again, the top here is going to be metadata. But down here, look, here's a preference setting for devices. That's the same on both GPOs. The preference setting actually takes up all of these. There are some Windows security settings on user rights assignments. So Parker is denied the right to log on locally on this machine. There's also a interactive message. It's the same on both GPOs. Okay, so they're the same. We've sort of set that contextual baseline. So I'm going to go into GPO B and I'm going to edit this guy. I'm doing all of this in the GUI, by the way, and that's fine. I will be doing a very similar video shortly that does all of this through PowerShell. So the PowerShell equivalent of this scenario. So bear with me. So here I'm going to take this disallow network as backup target. So in GPO B, I'm going to set that to not configured. I'm essentially going to turn that setting off. I could set it to disabled and get the same end result. Okay, so let's run the comparison again. I'm going to start a new compare. I can say use the previously compared GPOs, GPO A and GPO B, and run this comparison. Now what I will see here is one setting. So all the same metadata showed differences, but this one setting in GPO A disallow network as backup target is enabled. In GPO B, it's not configured. Okay, so I have two GPOs that should be the same. One setting had been edited in GPO B, and I can see that change occurred. Good? All right. Now, let's do the same thing, though. This time, I'm going to compare GPO B, the edited GPO, to a backup. I have a backup of GPO A out there. This backup was done this morning at 9:49. So there's my backup. I'm going to submit that and then run this comparison. Now, this time I'm running a compare of a live GPO against a backup. Think of that backup as your baseline or your gold standard, and you want to compare against that so that you can detect any configuration drift or changes. So here you can see GPO B, that disallow network as backup target is not configured. That is enabled in that backup. Another really nice thing about the compare piece of the GPO reporting pack is this report. In this comparison report, it's pretty simple, but simplicity is really part of its value. The way the different elements are highlighted. So here's metadata different from the baseline. Here's data that's missing in A, or missing in the first GPO that I'm comparing, or in this case, a GPO backup, you can see up there. And then at the bottom, all of the same settings, the settings that are the same between both GPOs. So simple report, but highlights that critical information of where is the config drift and how did it occur. Okay, so did a comparison, two GPOs, they should be the same. One was edited, I caught the difference. I looked at it against the backup, that gold standard, I caught the difference. So the comparison scenario is going to be really important. I'm just resetting my back to my baseline so that I can do this again. But at the end of the day, I think it's pretty straightforward. Now, for such a small example, you need to sort of think bigger. You have many GPOs. You have to do this multiple times a week. You have to do this on an automated basis, and maybe you need to remediate, meaning that setting changes. How do you change it back? So that's all for future videos. There should be a video up shortly, if not up already, that does this exact same scenario from PowerShell. So thanks, hope this was helpful, and let us know what you think. Thanks, bye.